Hey guys, it's Paradise, and do any of you have a game that you are hoping is as good as the actual trailer shows it off to be? Well, for us, that is Crimson Desert. It's an open-world action game from the devs Pearl Abyss, and it looks like a crazy mixture between a sort of fantasy GTA but also Dragon's Dogma, with a little sprinkle of Tears of the Kingdom in there for good measure. For those in need of a little recap, Crimson Desert is an action RPG releasing for consoles and PC. It's a game taking place in a gritty world filled with fantasy creatures, and has themes including dragons and magic. In it, you play as a character who, believe it or not, is called Macduff, and you need to recruit a party of strong members to survive the harsh world, which is made even harsher with the recent passing of the king of the land, which has left a power vacuum. The actual game trailer has a mix of things like minigames with fishing and stuff, but also very cinematic fights and even sky islands that look very inspired by Tears of the Kingdom. So of course it's understandable why people are excited for it, and of course we are excited too, but the last time we covered the game it actually didn't have a release date and some of the core details surrounding it was still a mystery. So what happened, or what is happening to Crimson Desert, is the question of the day. Some people believe the game is just fake and is never actually going to be released due to the devs constantly delaying and not giving a solid release date, and with the ambitious nature of the game from the looks of its content and the gameplay that they're aiming for. But tell me, what are you guys thinking about this whole situation? Do you think it's real or not? And when do you think this is, if ever, going to be released? From a recent investors call, we may have some answers that we've been looking for from Pearl Abyss. It actually covers some interesting topics and the current plan of the game, along with where it is in its dev cycle and when the game is going to be playable. If you want to listen to the actual call yourself, you can visit the Pearl Abyss investor website, as it will have calls in there in both English and Korean, but thanks to World of Warship Girl on Reddit, you can read the full translation of the parts related to Crimson Desert. In the last update we got, we knew that the game's development was nearing the end of production and that they were planning to go full speed ahead on the marketing phase for Crimson Desert, and it sounds like good news for people looking forward to the game, as in the call they said, "For Crimson Desert, with development in its last stages, we plan to start full-fledged marketing. First, we will participate in Gamescom, the biggest global game event, and plan to hold demos there for users. If we had focused on partner marketing until last year, this year we're planning diverse kinds of marketing which will enable users to experience the game and heighten expectations about the game." They go on to say they are confident that they have the ability to grow with new titles, including Crimson Desert, from the mid to long term. So there's two pieces of exciting information for us in there. The fact that the game is in its last stages of development, and that it's meant to be completed very soon. The fact that they are creating a demo which seems to be playable at Gamescom is also great news, and if anyone has a hookup at Pearl Abyss so that we can get our hands on it, you know what to do, because we've been waiting years to get hands on with this title. It looks like if you're able to attend Gamescom in person, they may even have it on the show floor, as they're planning to have a full-fledged marketing push for the game. So it could be very soon till we know if the game lives up to expectations or not when users finally put it through its paces in these demos. We know that last year, Where Winds Meet had a playable demo at Gamescom. It got a lot of people excited, and another game like Black Myth Wukong had its first gameplay showcases there as well, so Pearl Abyss could be very smart by doing a big push here. They actually went into more detail about this, as during a call they had a Q&A section where one of the shareholders was able to ask about the demo. The person asked that their question is referring to their new titles, and do they have any plans to release in-game footage for Crimson Desert. They also asked for information on the timeline if possible, and asked if they would release any more in-game footage for Doc AV as well. In response to this, they said regarding Crimson Desert, they're working very hard to make sure it is completely optimized, and they are smoothly going ahead into its final stages. They say they're receiving feedback from customers, and they're targeting Gamescom for their marketing. So they say they're quite active in this area. After this, they say it may not be enough to actually show you more footage from the game, so they're planning to have some demos that their users can actually participate in and experience the game. Starting with Gamescom, they then plan to participate in diverse global game events like G-Star, and they will expand their Crimson Desert marketing activities until they launch, and to strengthen those activities if needed, they will release additional footage from the game. So with this, we can kind of see that they're doubling down on having a playable demo around Gamescom. And by the way, these playable demos don't usually mean you can play them in your house. They're probably referring to an actual booth on the show floor that will have a playable demo for people attending in person, or perhaps even a behind closed door demo, which is usually for press and content creators. But either way, it should be good, as we can then hopefully have some actual gameplay footage out there for the game, rather than the official gameplay footage that you can't always trust. So actual raw gameplay from a demo will be amazing to see. They also mentioned that for development they're focusing on making the best possible game and optimizing the title. This is quite interesting to see because they have had issues with the performance in the game, which lots of people commented on from the reveal trailer, where the frame rate in some scenes looked particularly low. So it's great that they're taking on that criticism and actually trying to improve the game and its performance. Hopefully this will extend to both the console and PC version of it, and the world size does look pretty insane, so it'll be very nice to see them truly meet this vision of the game. Another question that was coming up a lot is about the game being exclusive, and this is very interesting in light of recent news around Square Enix, which have previously kept a lot of their big titles exclusive to PlayStation platforms like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and Final Fantasy XVI, but are now opting to abandon that in an attempt to go multi-platform to see even more success in sales. The shareholder asked, in relation to its marketing rather than the actual release of the game itself, if they would partner with a big platform to help push the game. For example, Cyberpunk, while being a multi-platform game, was actually pushed very heavily by Xbox. The exact question asked by the shareholder was that they were curious what the marketing budget for Crimson Desert is. They say they know it's a AAA game, and they believe the amount of marketing will probably be quite sizable. They ask if they have some numbers and any plans for exclusive contracts or publishing contracts with Sony or Xbox. They say to their knowledge, Shift Up recently had that kind of arrangement with Sony, which actually lessened their marketing burden and heightened their global recognition. While Pearl Abyss did have a lot to say in response to this, the most important part of what they said was that regarding the exclusive partners that they asked about, yes, they are thinking of diverse ways to collaborate in depth through many methods, and they're actually discussing many opportunities in detail, but related to the exclusive partnership, there are many considerations to be had, so this is why they can't confirm anything yet. So it doesn't look like there's any exclusive partnerships in place at the moment, and that includes both the marketing side of things and the platform release side of things, but since the reveal of the game, they have been stating that it will be releasing for consoles and PC, so we can assume that these plans remain the same. It's exciting to think that we can see more of the game very soon, and there were even rumors that the game could be releasing this year. It looks like this could line up for an early 2025 release, meaning that 2025 could have some real stacked titles like GTA 6, Monster Hunter Wilds, and Crimson Desert. Their other game that we're quite interested in, DocAV, was mentioned a few times in this call as well, but we'll probably do a separate follow-up video solely focused on that, because we know many people are interested in DocAV, and there's quite a bit to go over. So what do you think about Crimson Desert? Will it release this year, next year, not at all? Tell us below, and subscribe for more daily gaming videos, news, and guides.